1. Hello.
And we're back for another week of Wanders of Weird podcast.
Yeah.
I am your host, Chelsea, with your other host, Brittany.
I was going to say Brentley because that's what that little girl next door at the flower shop calls me.
Brentley?
Brentley. I can't tell you how many times I've told her my name is Brittany and she'll, hey, Brentley. So, that girl, that's my name, I guess.
Oh, okay. So we're just going to jump right into this one because this has the potential to be a very long episode that I am oh so very excited about.
And like, if you like the drama but you don't like to be a part of it, this episode is for you. Because this is just a drama-filled episode, I think.
We're covering celebrity scandals.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump right in. The first one that I have is the first couple that I'm going to do are kind of short, small. The first one is the college admissions scandal, and there were other people involved in this, but the most notable here, America's favorite aunt, has proven that she will do whatever it takes to make sure that her kiddos have everything that they could want or need.
Mm-hmm.
Full House's Aunt Becky became part of a huge scandal where 50 people were indicted in a college admissions bribery scandal. These rich bitch parents are paying extra money to ensure that their babies were accepted into the school of their dreams. Lori Loughlin was accused of paying $500,000 to get her children into USC, and I found out later it's not University of South Carolina, it's University of like something California.
Yeah.
She pleaded not guilty, but in 2020 she was sentenced to 2 months in prison.
I was going to say, I know she did jail time.
Yeah. Just 2 months.
Just 2 months. But, I mean, is it really that big of a deal?
I mean, if the kids didn't earn their spot.
I guess. And I'm sure that there were, like, more deserving kids to have those spots.
I mean, like, if I got, like, a 4.0 GPA and then I don't get in for whatever reason, but you're paying $500,000 and your kid's got, like, a 2.3.
Yeah.
We got issues. I got beef, and I'm probably going to fight you in the streets.
Yeah. Them white-collar crimes do be hitting different. So my first one, I'm doing some old Hollywood ones, too, because why not? So long before you were done, right?
Yep.
Okay. long before Leonardo DiCaprio and Jake Gyllenhaal were dating models half their age, silent film star Charlie Chaplin, you're familiar, he stayed wooing women who were much, much younger than him. He stayed wooing women. So he was married 4 times. Mm-hmm. When he was 29 years old, he married 16-year-old Mildred Harris in 1918. They divorced in 1920 when she turned 18. In 1924, when he was 35, he married 16-year-old Lita Gray. This marriage only lasted for 3 years, so when she was 19, they got divorced. But yeah, essentially, these marriages lasted until they were legal adults, which I added a little note, yikes on bikes. Chaplin took a break from the ladies for about a decade and then wed Paulette Goddard in 1936 when he was in his mid to late 40s. She was at least in her 20s when they got married, though. And if I'm not mistaken, these marriages only occurred because he was having affairs with them and they got pregnant. And in 1943, when Chaplin was 58 years old, he married 18-year-old Una O'Neill. Legally, she was an adult at the very least, but he was still old enough to be her grandfather.
Right.
And they stayed married until his death in 1977. In addition to all of this, he was banned from the United States in 1952 due to his communist leanings, and he did not return until 1972 so that he could collect an honorary Oscar. And for this achievement, this man who has married literal children received a 12-minute standing ovation, the longest ever in the history of the Oscars.
Mm.
So.
All right. Well, my next one is Alec Baldwin leaves a mean voicemail. Back in the year 2007, a voicemail that should have never seen the light of day was leaked revealing the voice of Alec Baldwin. The voicemail surfaced during the divorce with Kim Basinger. Basinger?
Is it Bass? No, it's Basinger.
And this featured Alec referring to his then 11-year-old daughter as a rude, thoughtless little pig.
It was Ireland, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure that at 11 years old, that did hurt her so much. But let's be real. Most of us that have children have called our kids much worse, but generally behind closed doors and never on a voicemail where the kid could hear.
Right. I was going to say, and not to their face.
I mean,
I'm sure.
You a damn lie. Are we dropping the F-bomb on this one?
Yes.
You a damn lie if you sit here and tell me that behind closed doors where the kids can't hear you, you have not said, fuck them kids at least once.
Yeah. Or called your kid a little fucker.
Right.
Or
an asshole.
A little shit. Or an asshole. And then there's the parents who are like, I would never call my kid an asshole.
You a damn lie.
Wait till your kid does something that makes him an asshole. And you might be.
Anyway, the voicemail goes like this. I'm gonna do this. Let me get in character. I don't give a damn that you're 12 years old or 11 years old or a child or that your mother is a thoughtless pain in the ass who doesn't care about what you do. You've made me feel like shit, and you need to straighten your ass out. I'll let you know how I really feel about what a thoughtless little pig you are. You are a rude little pig, okay? This crap you pull on me with this goddamn phone situation that you would never dream of doing to your mother, and you do it to me constantly, over and over again. Before hanging up, Baldwin then says, You better be ready Friday the 20th to meet with me. Now, this does seem a bit harsh.
I also like that he doesn't know if she's 11 or 12.
Right. This does seem a bit harsh, and I'm not trying to make light of the situation or say that it's okay, but people do fuck up, and celebrities are no exception.
And he may have had a drink or two. I think he had a problem.
He was also known to have had quite the temper anyway.
Yeah.
And he was known to say things that he knew was going to cut the deepest.
Yeah.
But at least he didn't call her a little fucker or something like that on the phone.
That's true. That's true.
But since Ireland and Alec have now thankfully made amends, and they can now even joke about it.
Yeah. Okay. So my next one is, Elizabeth Taylor. You've heard her name.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming.
She's gorgeous.
Mrs. White Diamonds.
She was gorgeous.
In her heyday, Elizabeth Taylor was the unofficial queen of scandal in Hollywood. She was married 8 times.
Okay.
Do you know that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I think.
She was in the headlines for years after she began an affair with her friend and fellow actress Debbie Reynolds' husband, Eddie Fisher.
Oh.
He was also an actor. The affair began just after her third husband died in a plane crash in the 1950s. Debbie and Eddie had 2 children together, Carrie Fisher being one of them. But after both of them, but because bless her mother died the next day. But after this revelation, they did divorce, and he married Elizabeth, and they stayed married for 5 years until she began to have another affair. This time the affair was with Richard Burton, who she would end up marrying and divorcing twice. The press vilified Fisher and Taylor for their affair, but only Fisher's career was affected in the long term. Both Taylor and Reynolds' stardom continued to rise, and they eventually made up in 1966 after a chance encounter on a cruise ship. So maybe they bonded over how much of a piece of shit he is.
All right. Now, these next few I'm going to cover, I figured we live in Nashville, so we're going to cover some country music.
Okay.
Brittany Aldean, who is the wife of Jason Aldean. Right. They have been open about their conservative views through the years, including a New Year's Eve party with none other than Donald Trump, per U.S. Weekly. Brittany caused quite a stir when she posted a transphobic post on the Instagram. It said, I'd really like to thank my parents for not changing my gender when I went through my tomboy phase, she wrote in the caption of the video. I love this girly life.
What a weird thing to say.
What a bitch move. I mean, I'm not going to lie to tell you. Like, Maddie went through a phase where she was like, As a kid, you can tell when your kids are just going through a phase to do something to be cool. But Maddie was like, I really want to get like a binder. I don't want to have boobs. I don't want to be a girl. I think I'm really a guy and all this. And I'm like, we're not doing that.
Right.
You're like 12 years old. We're not doing permanent modifications to your body.
Yeah.
Because you feel more comfortable in boy clothes than you do girl clothes.
Yeah.
Because God knows, I went through the same phase. I didn't think I was a boy, but I definitely didn't dress like a girl.
And now, does she even talk about it?
No.
To see, I think it's important to like let your kids be themselves.
Yes.
But to also know like some boundaries around it, I guess. And like this is coming from somebody who does not have children.
It's all about protecting your kids.
Yes, like do what's best for them and their mental health, but and know when they're serious about something. Like if you know they're just because it's the popular thing right now.
Right.
Because we all did that kind of shit.
Right. I'm all for letting your kids be who they want to be, but as far as like permanent changes to their anatomy.
Yeah.
Let that be a decision that they can make when they're an adult.
Yeah. My next one is musician Jerry Lee Lewis. There is a pattern, I guess you would say. So in 1958, rock musician Jerry Lee Lewis married his cousin. Not the worst part.
No, there's a movie about this.
She was his third wife, and she was only 13 years old. This caused his career to absolutely tank because, ew. It also didn't help that he was still legally married to his second wife at the time. And that's all I have on that one.
So the movie, I saw this movie like back, I was probably like middle school. I had no business watching this movie, but staying at home by myself during the summer when mom and dad weren't home, I was going to watch whatever I wanted to watch.
Yeah.
But I believe it's called Great Balls of Fire.
I think you're right.
But it features Dennis Quaid as Jerry Lee Lewis and Winona Ryder as the young cousin wife. Right. My next one is Loretta Lynn. In 1975, Loretta Lynn released a song called The Pill, which was considered outrageous for its frank discussion of birth control. Radio stations refused to play the tune, and even to this day, some still do. The song is, I had never heard of it, and so I listened to it the other day. The song is about her entering like a relationship where she was promised the world. However, all she got was pregnant more than once while he went out and had his fun. So she went to the doctor and got put on birth control. Good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
Now, whether or not that's a true story, I don't know. I didn't dig that deep into it.
Probably was. My next one is A Secret Child.
Oh.
So on the set of the film Call of the Wild, Clark Gable, you know who that is? Okay. I'm just checking. And Loretta Young not only played the lead characters, but they were also having an affair. Clark Gable was notorious for his womanizing, and this time was no exception. Gable was still married to his first of 5 wives at the time, but the two still had what was referred to as an encounter that resulted in Young being pregnant. Loretta Young kept the pregnancy a secret, going so far as to live abroad until the baby was born, and she had to adopt her own daughter at the age of 19 months in order to keep the affair a total secret. Gable refused to admit that he was the father and had zero interest in meeting his daughter. In a biography I read a few years ago about this, it did say that he met his daughter once or twice. And even though the little girl looked just like him, specifically his ears, he refused to believe that the child was his. And the parentage of Loretta's daughter was only revealed after she died in a posthumously published memoir. She also admitted that their encounter was not consensual. So even though these stars were put on quite a high pedestal back in their heyday, most of the men specifically really weren't good people.
I feel like I just recently saw that there's a movie coming out, possibly, about, and I want to say it's Clark Gable, but I could be wrong, where it's like his autobiography. Not autobiography, but, where it's a story about him. Was his name something else? Did he have like a different name?
I am not. I think he did.
No, that's his name.
Yeah, that was
so
his
it wasn't.
name.
It's not this movie that I'm thinking about. Then I don't remember who it was about. It was a big time, like old school movie star, male that was a manho. And I don't know how to Google that to find what it is.
I'll keep looking if you want to read your.
Okay. My next one is Morgan Wallen. Ugh. In February of 2021, a video was leaked of Morgan Wallen out in the street near his home hollering and using a racial slur. He was drunk. He made a public apology later on. However, I've never really been a fan of him. Let's also not forget, and this wasn't like really a scandal, but he made the song Cover Me Up big, like hit it big with that song. Mm-hmm. But that song was not written by him. It was written by Jason Isbell, and it was about Jason's relationship with Amanda Shires, where it wasn't so great all the time. And this was during his quest for sobriety. So why would a man who is a drunk, seemingly, I'm not saying that he really is. I'm not saying he's an alcoholic, but you're out in the middle of the street drunk, hollering racial shit.
Yeah.
How are you going to sit here and talk about getting sober like that and make it so big?
Yeah.
It kind of pisses me off.
Yeah, it seems a little ass backwards.
Yeah.
Cary Grant is who the biopic is about. And it's called Archie.
Yes.
That was his real name. Hold on. Let me get back to my thingy. So my next one is in 1973, singer-songwriter Graham Parsons died at the age of 26 from causes unknown. Graham had made it known that he wanted to be cremated. I almost said created. And his ashes scattered at Joshua Tree. His family, however, opted for a New Orleans burial instead. So this led to Graham's friends Phil Kaufman and Michael Martin to steal his body from LAX and drive it to Joshua Tree in a borrowed hearse. They then attempted to cremate Graham by pouring gasoline all over the coffin, but the fire that ensued attracted the police to the scene and the two were arrested. So, there you go with that one.
Are the last ones that you have, it's the last two bigger ones?
No, I have one more smaller one.
Okay. Do you have two big ones or just one?
Two big ones.
Okay. So, before you get to your big ones, let me finish all my small ones. Okay. I lost my spot. All right, Randy Travis. I like this one. It's freaking funny. Randy Travis was arrested in 2012 after crashing his car and being found later drunk and naked in the grass. He actually told the trooper that found him that he was fine as a damn dandy. He also threatened an officer, saying that he prayed to God that the officer would have cancer in every part of his body and that the trooper would be a dead man in under 10 minutes because he knows a lot of people. Including gangsters or mobsters or something like that. But like there's video footage of the entire thing out there.
No.
And it's fantastic.
Can't be doing that.
His lawyers or whoever put out a statement saying that, he hit his head and it literally said he was discombobulated and disoriented. and that's why he was saying all of this stuff.
You don't threaten to have people killed.
You don't pray, like tell somebody you're praying to God that they gonna have cancer.
I mean, I'm not shocked. Him and my papa got into a fight one time.
I thought about that while I was writing this.
Yeah, I'm not shocked. Also, too, I may have talked about this on the podcast. So, Randy Travis lived in somewhere in the vicinity of where I live at some point in like the 80s, I think, and would like ride his horse around. Well, his horse took a dump in my papa's yard. Well, he didn't like that. And he was like, he come out there hollering, you got to clean this up. Well, Randy Travis basically told him to fuck off. So, my papa passed away in 2005. And I have a propensity to listen to 90s country on any of my Google devices at any given time. So, one night I had a playlist on. I was in the kitchen. This going. Everything played just fine. Get to a Randy Travis song. It kept skipping like a CD would. And I was like, I had to tell Google to skip it. And the next song played just fine. The next like 5 or 6 songs played just fine. Another Randy Travis song, same shit. And I was like, I get it. You don't like him.
You got one more small one?
Yes.
Okay, I have 2 more small ones. So.
Okay. So my next one, some of us oldies might remember, and the youngins may not, but there was a time when Robert Downey Jr. was not the soberest of men. Do you remember this period of time? Okay. So between 1996 and 2003, Robert Downey Jr. was arrested several times for possession of drugs, possession of a loaded firearm, and once for driving down the Sunset Strip while high and naked. He was throwing imaginary rats out of the window of his car.
I love this man.
Not only did he spend a lot of time in jail, but also in rehab. Then he met his now wife, Susan, and has completely committed to sobriety. And I'm pretty sure he's a cat dad, as well as a real dad. He made his major comeback in 2008 when he was cast as Tony Stark in the Iron Man film, which was one of the first in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And he made his last appearance as Tony Stark in Avengers Endgame in 2019. He's been in a host of other successful films and film series since becoming sober, but my favorite movie of all time, my favorite Robert Downey Jr. movie, is Heart and Souls, which came out in 1998. I randomly saw it on I don't know, it was probably it probably wasn't Lifetime, but it was TNT or something, when I was staying the night at my grandparents' house. When I tell you, I sobbed at the end of that movie. It's so good.
All right, these last 2 are short. Not my last 2 total, but these last 2 short ones. The next one. The OG. This just gave me a whole new appreciation for this woman. Shania Twain found out that her husband was cheating on her with her best friend in 2008.
Good old Mutt Lang.
She then did the boss bitch thing and and divorced his ass, and then fell in love and married her ex-best friend's husband.
Yeah.
Frederick.
I don't know.
Frederick, is it Thibaud? Thibaud?
I don't know. I think it's French.
Yeah. But anyway.
So Mutt Lang, fun fact, was the producer for all of Def Leppard's first records.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah.
I knew that because of who my mother is.
Oh.
But yeah, I knew that. I was like, that butthole.
My last short one, Shelley Wright. So you know who that is? She sings Single White Female, Shut Up and Drive.
Yes.
Okay. In a time that it was not so widely accepted.
She got her start at Opryland.
Yes. In a time that it was not so widely accepted, and in an industry that is known to be very hetero, Shelley came out as gay in 2010.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She has stated in interviews that she was for sure that she stated in interviews that she tried to wish and pray the gay away. Even tried dating men. She dated Brad Paisley for a little while because she thought to herself, if she can't be who she wants to be, she might as well try and settle down with somebody that like makes her happy, like that she can be friends with or whatever. And her and Brad Paisley were really good friends, and they always had fun together and stuff. But however, after a long time of denial, secrets, living a double life that had her even contemplating suicide, she decided to live her truth. And you know what? Even though she hasn't really been a big thing since then, I commend her and honestly admire her for being who she is publicly. And I'm sure that her story has helped pave the way for someone else to make the bold decision to choose themselves.
Yeah.
And now there are plenty of artists out there that are openly gay, even putting out music that is very gay.
Yeah.
So that's my last two small ones. Now let's dip into the bigger ones. Go for it. Hit us with your first one.
So my first one is the mysterious death of Natalie Wood. So you know who Natalie Wood is, of course. So one of the greatest mysteries and scandals in the history of Tinseltown is the 1981 death of Natalie Wood. While on the yacht she shared with her husband, Robert Wagner, who this was their second go at marriage. Natalie Wood went missing. 6 hours later, she was found floating face up in the Pacific Ocean. In the Vanity Fair article, Natalie Wood's drowning was not an accident from 2020, author Suzanne Finstad noted, as I plumbed her past, Natalie's demons and her origins revealed themselves to me as if released from a genie's lamp. Family violence, an alcoholic father, a pathological attachment to her Svengali stage mother, psychological abuse as a child star, paranoias, phobias, a bedroom of storybook dolls she believed were alive and spoke to her, pimped at 15 to Frank Sinatra, forced to return an engagement ring to her high school sweetheart, who then tried to kill himself after, exploited into sexual liaison as a teenager with a 42-year-old director, Nicholas Ray, to prove that she could play a bad girl in Rebel Without a Cause. The secret buried deepest in Natalie's closet of skeletons was the shocking end to her fairy tale first marriage to Bobby Sox idol Robert Wagner, known to his friends as simply as RJ. To protect Wagner's image, Natalie publicly took the fall for their sudden divorce in 1961. She never refuted fan magazine gossip that her marriage to Wagner imploded over an alleged affair that she had with her co-star Warren Beatty while filming Splendor in the Grass. In time, the gossip, patently false, was reported as fact. The author was told by 3 of Natalie's closest friends, a friend of her mother's and her sister, that when Natalie came home to their Beverly Hills mansion one day, she walked in on RJ having relations with another man. Her sister recalled Natalie coming to their parents' home in absolute hysterics with her hand bleeding, and she shut herself into her old bedroom. Afterward, Natalie woke up in a hospital after she had overdosed on sleeping pills and slipped into a coma. The fallout from a lifetime of psychological damage and abuse led Natalie to multiple suicide attempts, daily psychoanalysis, and a fear of being alone at night, so primal and deep-seated that she regressed to her childlike self. Her greatest fear, I discovered, derived from a prophecy told to her superstitious Russian mother by a Romani woman, namely that she would die in dark water. It was well known that Natalie had a lifelong fear of the water. Natalie and Robert would go on to marry again in 1972. On the night of her death, it was reported by other passengers on the boat, such as Christopher Walken, that a very loud argument ensued between RJ and Natalie. It was so loud that neighboring boats could hear it. Deckhand Dennis Davern said he heard the dinghy being dropped into the water after the fight on the rear deck and said that he did see RJ near the dinghy. The next time Davern said that he saw RJ, he was looking sweaty as if he had been in a struggle and that the dinghy was gone. Davern said that the last thing he heard RJ say to Natalie was, "Get off my fucking boat." In a revised statement to police, Davern said that RJ refused to let him turn on searchlights to look for Natalie, and he refused to search for 2.5 hours after she went missing in the waters off Catalina Island. This was the same woman he not only married twice, but would often raise a glass to and say, "She takes my breath away." Maybe he had that the wrong way around. At the time of her death, her death was ruled as an accidental drowning. It was said that she had too much wine and champagne to drink and just fell off the boat. An intern who was a witness to the autopsy said that he saw abrasions on her legs that showed the opposite of this being true. And when he told the coroner his findings, it was shrugged off and he was told, "Some things are best left unsaid." The case was reopened in 2011 after the boat captain alleged that Wagner was responsible. However, no one was ever or has ever been charged in connection to Natalie's death, and the case has since gone cold again. In 2012, her death certificate was amended to say that her cause of death was drowning and other undetermined factors. So, he pushed her off that boat.
For sure. For sure. I was reading along with you, so I got to bring mine back up. All right, so this one I was real excited about. And I was real afraid that I would get to digging real deep into this and that it would change my outlook on the situation, but I don't think it did. So I'm going to talk to you about, is Garth Brooks a serial killer? You maybe haven't heard of this one, but I've been deep in the trenches about this one for a hot minute because it's been a thing on TikTok for a little bit.
I was going to say, I've seen it on TikTok a few times.
First, let me note that there's no substantial evidence to prove the allegations are true. Also, I don't believe that Garth would do such a thing. He's done so much good out there in the world. He started Teammates for Kids Foundation, rebuilt homes in Haiti after the earthquake of 2012, came out of retirement to play charity concerts. He did 9 shows in less than a week to help benefit flood victims here in Nashville in 2010.
Oh, wow.
I truly don't think that this is something that he, maybe not capable is not the right word, but I don't think it's something that he would do.
I was gonna say, have you seen any of those videos where people have edited him talking in ways that make it sound like he's definitely a murderer?
Oh yeah, he looks like he's crazy.
I was gonna say he
really
looks
does.
like a crazy person.
He does, but I really just think that that's just who he is, and I may
somebody
have this
even
somewhere in here
made a comment about how Trisha Yearwood always looks scared when she's standing next to him.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just don't think I just don't think Garth's not going to do that. But,
probably not.
I know that it could all just be a cover up, all the good stuff that he's done, but I refuse to believe, based upon the lack of evidence, that this can be true. So let's get into it now that I've made my position clear. All of this apparently got started when comedian, who I also love,
I do,
Tom Segura.
I almost bought tickets to see him at Bridgestone. They're actually pretty cheap.
Really?
Yeah.
I've recently started watching Two Bears, One Cave, his podcast that he does with Bert Kreischer.
Yeah.
I love it. But anyway, Tom made a comment at the end of the 2018 concert tour announcement for Brooks says, "Let's get physical playing music with a smile." Segura joked that Brooks looks like he had killed some people before. And in all honesty, he do be looking a little crazy.
Yeah, he do be looking like that.
He's done some strange shit in his career too, but let things like, I'm just going to put this out there, Chris Gaines.
Yeah.
In case you don't know about Chris Gaines.
It was probably him that killed all those people.
Chris Gaines was Brooks's rock alter ego. He was only active with this Australian persona for a year, released one album with a total of 13 songs. But Segura made the statement that he's guessing that Garth has at least 200 to 300 bodies under his belt in this November 28, 2018 episode of his podcast, Your Mom's House.
I didn't realize it went that far back.
Yeah. In fact, this situation has been mentioned in at least 6 segments of this podcast over the last few years. So, Conspiracy says that his tour dates align with multiple missing persons reports. I did a spot check on a few past concert dates with missing persons reports, and I couldn't find any correlation. Like, nothing. Now, if you guys have seen...
That's probably good.
Huh?
That's probably good.
Yeah.
That's good.
If anybody listening to
that
this...
I'm not disappointed.
Well, if anybody listening to this has seen, like, any definitive proof, like, how it correlates, then send it to the email, because I'm kind of curious. Because I looked, I couldn't find nothing. And when I tell you, y'all know I'm the world's worst about procrastinating, waiting until the last minute to get these, and I'm up late at night the week before we record trying to get this stuff written. I dug on this, okay? People are now tweeting and commenting, even bringing signs to shows asking Garth, where are the bodies?
Oh, no.
Even going as far as, Garth, the family needs closure. And my personal favorite, which is morbid, I know, Garth, please return my grandma.
Oh, no.
Garth is not helping the rumors at all because he's blocked Segura on social media.
Oh, no.
And hasn't put anything out there on it, which my mindset is let people talk, but also it does kind of look sus if he's not denying anything.
He should be like, I haven't killed anybody.
Right. His lack of response seems to be fueling the situation even more. In a podcast Segura was on with Theo Vaughn, it was mentioned that nobody would suspect Garth as he is such a good guy, but he does own a fuck ton of land.
Oh yeah.
There's all kind of things that could be hidden on the over 10,000 acres of land that he owns across the US.
Yeah. And like we've driven past the property, like their house out here. Like you can't see the house from the road, obviously, but it's a lot.
Yeah. But there's nothing connecting.
I'm sure he's fine, and I'm sure Tom is just egging it on because it's comedy.
I really think, and will continue to live in blissful ignorance until there's solid proof that Garth just lets all of this roll off his back and doesn't care, and that he's just genuinely a nice but weird guy.
If he didn't care, he wouldn't have blocked Tom.
Honestly, though, like, somebody be talking shit, you're just going to block them. Like, if you're somebody like me that's not going to feed into it, and you're just like, you know what, fuck you, and I'm just going to block you. And
like, I've been, like, on lives and seen somebody comment, and I'm just like, something so stupid, and I'll block them. I don't even know who they are. Yeah. I'll block them. This way I don't have to see their comments in that thread anymore.
Right. Wow. So, there's that. That's that one. So hit your last one that I fucking know is about to be a fucking process.
It's 11 pages long.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna bring yours up so I can follow along so I can know.
Okay. So.
Okay.
As a Swiftie, I had to bring up like one of the like biggest stories in the Swiftie lore. And it's just the biggest scandal. It was the biggest scandal of 2009 that has caused beef so bad that they're still talking about it today. So, now that I know that a good portion of our listeners and my co-hosts do not give a hoot about this story, but it makes me happy, so I'm doing it anyway. And I made a note to myself to put a timestamp in. So, it is 40 minutes in. So,
You want me to write that down?
Yes, please. This way I can put a timestamp in the description in case you don't want to hear about this shit. Okay. So at the 2009 VMAs, everything was running smoothly until Taylor Swift won the award for Best Female Video. She was in the middle of her thank you speech when Kanye West famously ran onto the stage, took the mic, and said, "I'm going to let you finish," and then proceeded to say that Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. Taylor didn't finish her speech, and Beyonce looked absolutely stunned at this. Beyonce would go on to win Video of the Year, and she gracefully allowed Taylor to come back and have her moment. Swift would go on to tell reporters, "I was standing on stage and I was really excited because I'd just won the award. And then I was really excited because I'd won the award. And then I was really excited." Wait a minute. I just typed that twice. Okay. So she was really excited because she won the award. And then she was really excited because Kanye West was on the stage. And then I wasn't excited anymore after that. This incident began a firestorm on social media with many people criticizing West for his actions, including then President Obama, who called him a jackass. The next night, Kanye appeared on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno and said, "I immediately knew in the situation that I was wrong and it was a spectacle." He would tell Ellen that the outburst was due to a mixture of sincerity and alcohol. He went on to say, "It's actually someone's emotions that I stepped on. It was rude, period. I'd like to be able to apologize to her in person." Just 2 days after the incident, Taylor issued a statement that Kanye had called her and apologized, and she accepted, and that if it wasn't for the support of other artists and fans, that she may not have been able to accept that apology so swiftly. At the 2010,
hate you.
You should have heard me giggling when I was writing this.
I can't fucking stand
At the 2010 VMAs, Swift performed her song "Innocent" from her Speak Now album, a song that was rumored to be about Kanye.
I just realized this has been sitting here this whole time. Mm-hmm. This is the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen. Yeah. How long has this been here?
Forever. I bought it for my dad for
it's literally been sitting right there.
It's been on that shelf for a while. I've rearranged stuff, but yeah,
sorry
been
to
on that
interrupt
shelf.
Your story.
It's a little John Lennon.
I'm gonna take a picture of it. I'll post it.
But yeah, I bought it for my dad at an antique store over by Opry Mills.
He's so cute.
And then I rethought about it, and I was like, he might think this is weird, so I ended up keeping it.
I'm gonna take a picture of where it was sitting too, so that I can.
I was gonna say, you better hide your contraband over there.
Shh. He listens. I did not steal a box of the runts that Brittany bought.
I was going to say, you could probably just hear it rattling around.
And know exactly what it is, because he for sure knew exactly what it was as soon as he heard that box rattle.
Okay. So at the 2010 VMAs, Swift performed her song "Innocent" from her Speak Now album, a song that was rumored to be about Kanye, with the lyrics going, "It's all right, just wait and see. Your string of lights is still bright to me. Who you are is not where you've been. You're still an innocent. It's okay. Life is a tough crowd. 32 and still growing up now." In the June 16th, 2013 issue of the New York Times, Kanye West took back his apology, saying, "I don't have one regret. If anyone's reading this waiting for some type of full-on flat apology for anything, they should just stop reading right now. I have, as a human being, fallen to peer pressure." Flash forward to the 2015 Grammy Awards, and the pair were photographed together, which sparked rumors of a potential collaboration that West was quick to humor, saying, "She wants to get in the studio, and we're definitely going to go in. Any artist with an amazing point of view, perspective, fan base, I'm down to get in the studio and work. I don't discriminate." Later that year, Swift would tell Vanity Fair, "I feel like I wasn't ready to be friends with him until I felt like he had some sort of respect for me. And he wasn't going to be friends with me until he had some sort of respect for me. We haven't planned any collaboration, but hey, I like him as a person. And that's a really good, nice first step. A nice place for us to be." In August 2015, Taylor presented Kanye with the MTV Video Vanguard Award at the VMAs, and all seemed well. Kanye gifted Taylor with flowers after the awards, which I saw a picture of these flowers, and it's huge. It was like a huge bouquet of white roses.
Nice.
Then, on February 9th, 2016, Kanye debuted his song Famous at his Yeezy show featuring a dig at Taylor. It included the line, "I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Why? I made that bitch famous." Following the backlash, the rapper took to Twitter claiming that he had gotten permission from Swift to name drop her after they had an hour-long phone conversation. During her Grammy Award acceptance speech in 2016, Swift said, "As the first woman to win Album of the Year at the Grammys twice, I want to say to all the young women out there are going to be people along the way who will try to undercut your success or take credit for your accomplishments or your fame. If you just focus on the work and don't let those people sidetrack you, someday when you get where you're going, you'll look around and you will know that it was you and the people who love you who put you there. And that will be the greatest feeling in the world." Later in 2016, Kim Kardashian came out and said she totally approved of that in reference to the song, adding, "She totally knew that was coming out. She wanted to all of a sudden act like she didn't. I swear, my husband gets so much shit for things when he really was doing proper protocol and even called to get it approved." The response from Taylor's team was, "Taylor does not hold anything against Kim Kardashian as she recognizes the pressure Kim must be under and that she is only repeating what she has been told by Kanye West. However, that does not change the fact that much of what Kim is saying is incorrect. Kanye West and Taylor only spoke on the phone, only spoke once on the phone while she was on vacation with her family in January of 2016, and they have never spoken since. Taylor has never denied that conversation took place. It was on the phone call that Kanye West also asked her to release the song on her Twitter account, which she declined to do." On June 24th, 2016, Kanye releases the music video for Famous, which features a nude Taylor Swift sculpture. Many supporters of Swift called this video sickening and disturbing, and she would later go on to compare it to revenge porn. What in the hell have you done over there? Yeah, she would go on to compare the video to revenge porn, which it is gross. On July 17th, 2016, Kim Kardashian released video footage of Kanye West's phone call with Taylor Swift on Snapchat. In the video, Swift can be heard saying, "It's like a compliment," after West reads her the lyrics, which include, "For all my South Side N-words that know me best, I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. What I give a fuck is you as a person, and as a friend, I want things that make you feel good," West told Swift. She thanked him for being so cool about it after she said that she appreciated the heads up on the lyrics. "I never would have expected you to tell me about a line in your song. I mean, I don't think anybody would listen to that and be like, oh, that's a real diss. You got to tell the story that way it happened to you and the way you experienced it." Swift went on to say, "If people ask me about it, look, I think it would be great for me to be like, he called me and told me before it came out, jokes on you guys, we're fine." After the release of the music video, the clip on Snapchat, Taylor's rep told People Taylor was never made aware of the actual lyrics, "I made that bitch famous." With that, the internet immediately took sides with Kardashian and West, and hashtag Kim Exposed Taylor Party and hashtag Taylor Swift is Over Party began to trend online. So if you're wondering why you randomly in 2016 started to just hate her for no reason, it was just probably the influx of the vitriol that the internet was throwing her way for years.
I was hating her before then.
Well, I said if in 2016, if it was out of nowhere, it's probably because all of that was being it was everywhere. Swift quickly posted to Instagram on the matter saying, "Where is the video of Kanye telling me that he was going to call me that bitch in his song? It doesn't exist because it never happened. You don't get to control someone else's emotional response to being called that bitch in front of the entire world. Of course I wanted to like the song. I wanted to believe Kanye when he told me that I would love the song. I wanted us to have a friendly relationship. He promised to play the song for me, but he never did. While I wanted to be supportive of Kanye on the phone call, you cannot approve a song you haven't heard. Being falsely painted as a liar when I was never given the full story or played any part of the song is character assassination. She went on to add, I would very much like to be excluded from this narrative, one that I have never asked to be a part of since 2009. She captioned the post, the moment when Kanye West secretly records your phone call and then Kim posts it on the internet. At a Drake concert where Kanye was performing the collaboration they did together, Kanye said, I'm so glad my wife has Snapchat because now y'all can know the truth. He added, and can't nobody talk shit about Ye no more, before launching into the famous verse about Taylor. At some point during all of this, Kim Kardashian posted to Twitter, wait, it's legit National Snake Day? They have holidays for everybody. I mean, everything these days, with a lot of snake emojis. And this sent everybody running over to Taylor's social media posts, and all of her comments were flooded with snake emojis, because everybody assumed she was just a lying, backstabbing bitch. So after this, Taylor Swift went into hiding for an entire year, and nobody saw her or heard from her publicly at all during that time. After this year was up, all of her social media accounts were wiped clean, and a series of videos depicting a serpent began to appear, which indicated that possibly another album was coming. She announced her 6th studio album, Reputation, on August 23rd, 2017, and appeared to be taking back the snake. I will say, I was a Taylor hater from way back when. I'm not afraid to admit it. I was also like a metalhead kid, and I had absolutely no interest in exploring other genres or anything like that. And I just deemed Taylor Swift not worthy of my ears. But as annoying as the song Shake It Off is, that's what really roped me in. I don't know. It's got like bugs in it. It got in my ears.
That's Gemma's pump up song for soccer games.
And then everybody decided that they fucking hated her. So I was like, you know what? I don't think she's that bad. If everybody hates her, come on. So that said, I'm a big old Reputation girly through and through. And besides the Midnight's album that came out last year, I think it's one of her best albums. Anyway, moving on. So, without all the frills of the music itself, the lyrics really tell a story, such as in This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things, which is rumored, it's allegedly about Kanye. It was so nice being friends again. There I was giving you a second chance, but you stabbed me in the back while shaking my hand. And therein lies the issue. Friends don't try to trick you, get you on the phone, and mind twist you. And so I took an axe to a mended fence. The success of the Reputation album and stadium tour was the comeback that Swift was looking for. Now, flash forward a few more years, or about a year or so. Kim Kardashian was asked on Andy Cohen's show if the feud was still going, and she claimed she was over it, and she felt like they had all moved on from it. So, a lot goes on between January 2019 and March 2020, because everybody said a lot of things, and it was a whole lot, and I've already droned on long enough about it, so I'll just skip to the future. So, March 20th, 2020, the full phone call between Kanye and Taylor is leaked online. In clips posted to Twitter, it was revealed that Kanye never told her some of the lines he planned for the song, and simply says he included a very controversial line about her, to which she asked him if it was going to be mean. Eventually, which honestly, isn't that like every like hurt girl's response?
Right.
Are you going to be mean?
Right.
So eventually, she expressed relief that the lyrics don't refer to her as being that stupid, dumb bitch, and finally tells Wes that she thinks she needs to think about it because it's absolutely crazy. Wes tells her, I'm going to send you the song and send you the exact wording and everything about it, right? And then we could sit and talk through it. Swift has always maintained that she never received the song or the lyrics before the song was released. And after the song was released, her rep told People magazine that the singer declined and cautioned him about releasing a song with such a strong misogynistic message. Taylor was never made aware of the actual lyrics. I made that bitch famous. So Swift posted on Instagram, instead of answering those who were asking how I feel about the video footage that leaked, proving that I was telling the truth the whole time about that call, you know, the one that was illegally recorded that somebody edited and manipulated in order to frame me and put me, my family, and fans through hell for 4 years. She added a swipe up to see what really matters, which led to a message saying that the World Health Organization and Feeding America are some of the organizations I've been donating to. And if you had the ability at that time to join her in fighting or in helping those in crisis. The next day, Kardashian posted a tweet saying, to be clear, the only issue I ever had around the situation was that Taylor lied through her publicist who stated that Kanye never called to ask for permission. They clearly spoke, so I let you all see that. Nobody ever denied the word bitch was used without her permission. So, we got some backpedaling. So, and then Swift's lovely redheaded publicist Tree Payne replied, resharing her very first statement on the matter and adding, P.S. Who did you guys piss off to leak that video? As I think everyone on the planet Earth knows, Taylor was named Person of the Year by Time Magazine this year, and she did not waste the opportunity she was given with that interview. She said, quote, make no mistake, my career was taken away from me. You have a full manufactured frame job in an illegally recorded phone call which Kim Kardashian edited and then put out to say to everyone that I was a liar. That took me down psychologically to a place I've never been before. I moved to a foreign country. I didn't leave a rental house for a year. I was afraid to get on phone calls. I pushed away most people in my life because I didn't trust anyone anymore. I went down really, really hard. I know. It's hard to feel bad for somebody who's a millionaire. But just for perspective, let's say if you were working with a coworker and they were recording a conversation you were having about work without your knowledge, and then they edited your conversation to send into your boss to try and get you fired and turn your other coworkers against you, even the ones you thought were your friends. And so I will wrap this up with her a quote. Which was from the People, the Time article. I'm very careful to be grateful every second that I get to be doing this at this level, because I've had it taken away from me before. There is one thing I've learned. My response to anything that happens, good or bad, is to keep making things, keep making art. But I've also learned there's no point in actively trying to quote unquote defeat your enemies. Trash takes itself out every single time. Ta-da! I made you listen to that. Oh, and also, too, just to tie in, I didn't type this in. I said I was going to, but I didn't type this in. But just to tie in the sale of her masters with this. So around this time, I guess Scooter Braun was friends with Kanye West. And he had some of his artists like bullying her online and like talking shit about her. Like, I don't know. I want to say Demi Lovato was one of them, but they were just absolutely shit talking her. So her and Scott Borchetta, who owned her masters and was the head of Big Machine Records, they had conversations. She was like, I never want Scooter Braun to own my masters. And then he, behind her back, sold them to him. And so that was what led to the re-recordings, which I can get behind that.
Right.
So anywho,
well,
I'm excited for this one.
It's not quite as long as that. I will give you this. I'm so fucking excited because when I tell you, I went. This last story, all about Zach Bagans being a petty line bitch. All right, so now if you've listened to any of our episodes most of our episodes that pertain to hauntings, you already know that neither one of us are fans of Zach Bagans.
Right.
He makes my damn skin crawl. I'm not generally, and this is where that whole
Do you imagine, like, in real life, he's just like a chill dude who's not obnoxious at all?
Well, this whole story is going to tell you that's not the case. I'm not generally the type of person that gets my jollies for making fun of somebody or even talking mad shit about them habitually anymore. And this is where the Dr. Pepper girl tied in. But with him, I am that bitch.
100%. I could get behind this. This is what I was talking about at the end of the last episode.
Yeah. Zach Bagans has found himself accused of many things, mostly accusations of being a liar and just an overall baby-back bitch, despite his affliction, clothing-wearing, tough guy wannabe exterior. But over the past couple of years, his name has been the hot topic of the paranormal TV scene, and not because he's good at what he does. He is rumored to be the one who brought about the cancellation of the show Destination Fear and possibly a few more. It is said in a few posts in the Twitter sphere, or the X sphere now, that Zach had contacted the Travel Channel and told them to shut down other shows because he was fearful they would become more popular than his shows. Now, Dakota Layden, cast member of Destination Fear, did put out there that Bagans was not the reason, but also made sure it was clear that the two are not friends. His tweet reads, "Did Zach Bagans shut down Destination Fear? No, he didn't. Did Zach Bagans," and this was a video that he posted to Twitter. I watched it. This was part of that video that you sent me. Did Zach Bagans call the networks and say, shut it down? No, he didn't. Then he adds, "But I have to tell you guys, in this industry, these decisions are business and has nothing to do with someone's ego or whatever. However, does that mean that Zach and me are friends and that he has been supporting the show and everything has been chipper and great? No, it doesn't. And I have a lot to say and more to come on that front."
Oh.
Now, after all of that was said, Nick Groff, former member of the Ghost Adventures crew, came out to say that he had some stuff to bring to light about Bagans. Groff had left the show after having creative differences with Bagans, and things turned quite nasty once Groff accused Bagans of inserting fake evidence on episodes for ratings. Now, I cannot confirm that it was, things turned quite nasty once Bagans was accused of inserting fake evidence on episodes for ratings. Now, I cannot confirm that it was Groff who put that information out there. Let me just say that. I'm not putting all this out here to be called out on slander, because, that's not what we're doing.
Right.
Groff did take to Twitter with a quote from Albert Einstein that says, "If I were to remain silent, I'd be guilty of complicity." Followed by a video saying that he would address questions regarding Bagans coming up. Brittany sent me a YouTube video that I'm going to link, or that she will link in her notes, that shows a video where Nick states that he was not fired, but Bagans did make calls to the network to say that he will not work at a network if Nick was also on the network. This claim was confirmed in another video posted by Bill Hartley, a cast member of the show Ghosts of Shepherdstown. He stated that they were recasted due to calls made by Bagans to the network. This also shut down Nick's show, Paranormal Lockdown. Also, poor old Aaron Goodwin, the one who always gets left as bait in Ghost Adventures, he's apparently spoken out against Bagans as well. He said that producers, one of which is, you guessed it, Bagans, would manipulate recordings and that they would tell the cast how to react, sometimes meaning that they would have to reshoot entire scenes. In that same YouTube video that Brittany sent me,
I just heard cats fighting.
I was like, what was that? In that in that same video that Brittany sent me, it also states that the show is scripted. It mentions and shows footage from a live show that aired where Zach was talking with a rabbi, and Zach asked if he knew anything about Dybbuk boxes. The rabbi responded that he had only read up on them either that day or the day prior, as he was instructed to for benefit of the show.
Oh.
Then it was mentioned by the rabbi, this may not work out in your favor for your script. Bagans then is seen storming away in anger that was said on a live show.
Oh, no.
And obviously, after these claims were made, Aaron was booted from the show.
Yeah.
Another scandal I was able to find involving Bagans is from 2020, where it was found that his book, Ghost Hunting for Dummies by Zach Bagans, was massively plagiarized.
Oh, no.
Researcher Kenny Biddle found that there were at least 20 uncredited sources, which included almost a whole chapter taken from the book Camera Clues, a handbook for photographic investigation by Joe Nickell.
No.
After this was brought to light, one of the authors that was not credited, Troy Taylor, released a statement that he had been working with Bagans and that they had an agreement that he was not going to be credited. He wanted to make sure that Zach did not take any of the blame. In agreement with my source, I feel like this is his way to try to keep Zach, who was a bigger name, from getting caught up in lawsuits.
Yeah.
However, my source also states that when Biddle reached out to Taylor prior to the above statement being made, he noted that he knew all about it. He already had received a settlement in a battle with a ghostwriter, and I quote what he said, you know it wasn't him, being Bagans, that wrote all of that, and he was letting it stand. Now, if you didn't know before, you know now. Bagans is fake as fuck, in my opinion, and honestly, the evidence is stacked against him to prove to me otherwise. There was also a part of that video that you sent me where there's like another paranormal show with two girls where they went to a location that I think was part of the pilot episode for Ghost Adventures, and there was a brick thrown. Well, the woman that was showing them around the location prior to them getting locked in, that like owns the place or whatever, is the caretaker of the place. She says in their video that was staged. There's like a whole beef thing going on TikTok between two creators, Haunted Hikes, and who was it? Paranormal Chris. Apparently Haunted Hikes was saying that he went on a ghost hunt with Zach Bagans to a location, Eastern State Pen, where Haunted Hikes went like prior to the investigation and spent like a substantial amount of time and really got nothing, just normal creaks and pops and whatnot. And then when they were on the ghost hunt, it was apparently like with a big group of people. While they were in there, all of a sudden there was like a loud boom, boom, boom. And, you know, Zach's doing it big. Oh my God, what is that? And so this dude took off in the opposite direction, trying to find where the noise was coming from. And he opened a door and found a Ghost Adventures crew member hitting like a pipe on the wall or something, manufacturing the evidence.
Yeah.
But then also this Paranormal Chris guy said that when that took place, this dude was not there. This Haunted Hikes dude said that he had, like, his whole story was bullshit, and that he had beef. They've had beef. It's been going on for a hot minute. Like, that video told all about it, but like it was a whole ordeal. What was the name of that show? I don't know. But anyway, it's that we'll link that video.
Yeah.
If you can't stand Zach Bagans as much as I can't stand Zach Bagans, that video is
So I looked up that book on Amazon. So you said he had a ghostwriter for it, right?
That's
Okay.
what it was said.
Okay. So if he had a ghostwriter, that ghostwriter is not credited at all, which is uncommon. So, like, I have from Ghost Hunters, Steve Gonzalez, I've got his book, and he had a ghostwriter, and his name was Michael Aloisi. Aloisi? Because usually it's the big name and then with so and so, because they're
No, it's not. He didn't credit shit. And if I'm not mistaken, it says that after all of this was brought to light, that it was like plagiarized and all this, that they like redid the book so that they could credit all these sources.
I got you. It's got a 3.7 rating on Goodreads.
I can't imagine it's even that good.
Oh, you know.
Well, I mean, being that it's other people's work.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But also, too, I mean, you know how people who like Zach Bagans are.
I just don't see, like, when he's just too much. He's
too
extra.
Yeah.
Because, like, when we go out...
He's written several books.
When we go out, like, we're going to react to stuff, but we're not, like, that.
Okay, so, like, this is probably a ghostwriter. Because he's got one called I'm Haunted, Living Life Through the Dead. And it says by Zach Bagans, which is really big. And then under it is Kelly Krieger. So she was probably a ghostwriter on this book. What about this one? Yeah, same thing with this one. Dark World, Into the Shadows with the lead investigator of the Ghost Adventures crew. And it's Zach Bagans, real big, and then Kelly Krieger underneath it, real, like, smaller, but it's there.
Right.
So.
Well, like I told you, mine wasn't as long as your
Why would you do that on, like, 2 of your books and then not on one if you had a ghostwriter? It's kind of weird.
Well, it's not been confirmed that he had a ghostwriter. I was just saying that Taylor guy was just like,
See, that's the one thing where I'm just like, oh, are you sure? But I'm sure he didn't, because he's had a ghostwriter on every single one of his books. So his book I Am Haunted, it also, I don't know, no, that's got to be the publisher. That's the one I just said about I Am Haunted. But this one doesn't have that lady's name on it. Does he have any other books? God, I hope that's it. My endless tweets to Zach Bagans. What is this? My endless tweets to Zach Bagans. Some supernatural and the paranormal, official or unofficial and unauthorized. This is probably somebody who's totally unhinged. So, I think that's it.
In relation to Zach Bagans, we all were talking about at the New Year's gathering that I had.
Mm-hmm.
We were watching Nashville's downtown, like, countdown for the New Year's or whatever. Mm-hmm. And what is that guy? Why can I not think of his name?
Hardy
was singing. And I have said since day one that he looks like Zach Bagans. I like Hardy. I like his music. But I'm telling you right now that if it comes out that that's really Zach Bagans, I'm going to be so upset about it.
There's no way.
There's not, but I'm going to be very upset about it.
Especially when he opened his mouth.
He doesn't seem as douchey.
No.
Also, it was said in that video that Zach Bagans' nickname was Zach Douchebaggins.
I still can't.
I can't believe that was ever one of my favorite shows to watch. Like, why did I enjoy that so much?
I don't know, because I could never. I'm sending you a picture.
Is it raining? Sounds like it's pouring down.
I think it's supposed to be. What in the hell?
What are you doing?
I'm trying to send you a picture. But I don't know why.
Oh, we didn't do the timestamp at the end of your Taylor Swift.
Oh, shit. Well, I'll tell you when it starts. It probably lasted a good 20 minutes. I don't know. I'm trying to send you a picture, but... Oh, wait. There it is. Send. This way. Oh, okay. It says it's a video, but...
It says you sent me a GIF. Oh, you sent it on my phone?
Oh, I sent it through Facebook. Make sure you zoom in on that and see what it says.
It's thinking about it. Sometimes you have to forget. What? It's a picture of Zach. And it says, sometimes you have to forget what you feel and remember what you deserve.
And he's got like little hearts around him, and it's very sweet.
Anyways. Well, guys, how long is this episode?
Well, we're sitting at an hour 16, and I've got the nonprofit of the week.
Go for it. Hit it.
I selected the Born This Way Foundation.
Is this Lady Gaga?
Yeah. So Born This Way Foundation was co-founded and led by Stephani Germanotta, or Lady Gaga, and her mother, Cynthia Bissett Germanotta. And it supports youth mental health and works with young people to build a kinder and braver world. Through youth-driven research programs and strategic partnerships, Born This Way Foundation aims to make kindness cool, validate the emotions of young people, and eliminate the stigma surrounding mental health. Born This Way Foundation's programs include #BeKind365, Channel Kindness, and the Be There certificate, and Please Stay. All aimed at connecting young people and anyone with resources to build communities that understand, prioritize, and foster good mental health. And I will, as always, leave a link to donate directly, and you can also support them by buying a t-shirt from their shop, which I'll also link below.
Nice. I'm really surprised that you didn't do whatever foundation nonprofit that was referenced in your Taylor Swift dissertation.
I mentioned it to per nonprofit.
Yeah, she said if you have the means to donate to this thing.
Oh, well, that was the World Health Organization and Feeding America. You can do those too if you want, but I just thought doing a celebrity ran one. Yeah.
I like it.
And I like Lady Gaga. So.
Yeah. Sames. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming to another week.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. Keep the downloads coming. Share us out.
Follow us
on the TikTok,
Instagram,
Facebook,
X. I almost forgot what it's called.
Email us at wanderersofweird@gmail.com. Oh, yeah.
I can feel my voice starting to go.
Right. That's the last one. We're done. All right, guys. Thanks again for another week. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Okay, bye.